Brad is not a football fan. Okay, now let's see if we are actually live this time and if we're not buffering. We're trying to fix it, I promise.
It's working now.
Is that the original one though? Or the one we're on now?
Hey, y'all know voice. Hello all.
Okay, now let's see. Tell me if you can hear it and if this is working now, finally. I tried to drop down the resolution so hopefully it won't buffer so bad. We'll see. Okay, so it's working now. Yay! All right. I don't even know what we were talking about. Football. We were talking about football. Okay, so just making sure everybody can hear us and we're not frozen, not buffering. We're doing okay.
Yeah, we got it now.
So far, what? So far, no buffering. Yay! Okay, I turned down the resolution, so hopefully that'll fix it. Hi, Jason. If you guys see the person on the screen, that is Jason Payne. That is my cousin. That is the gentleman who has the chickens. He took all my chickens. He is such a sweet person for doing that because, I mean, I knew he was wanting chickens, but I kind of said, hey, guess what? You have 2 weeks to build a complete chicken coop and take every chicken I have. Surprise! And he did it, and so I really, really appreciate that. Let's see. Yay! Everybody says it's going good now. So refresh that way we can see what they're actually saying good.
Okay.
If you're wondering, I actually have the words coming up on the screen, and we have a little bitty cell phone. So if you watch me and I'm like, it's because I'm trying to look at the words. Okay. Hey, Krista.
It's not.
Okay. I think we got it fixed now. So I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about Emily. My sister is 17 and she tortures my husband about how he says certain words. The other one that she makes fun of you about all the time is pulpit. Like what somebody preaches from, like what a preacher preaches from.
A pastor.
And a pastor. He says pasture.
Pastor. He's pastor. He preaches at the church. He's pastor.
Emily would be dying if she was seeing this.
It's not.
Yeah, no more tic-tac-toe now. No, you can still play tic-tac-toe.
We finally figured it out.
Yeah, we finally figured it out. I just had to turn down the resolution.
That's why we farm. We don't know technology.
Speaking of farming, I don't know if you guys have been watching, but I talked about the fact that I was getting quail. Wednesday, it never happened. It wasn't that I said, well, she bailed on me. She didn't really bail on me. She just wanted to prolong it and wait until next week. And I was just like, I didn't have to rush and clean the barn the way I did after all. Yeah. But yeah, I got the barn clean now and we're prepared for it. And believe it or not, I don't know if it's just this particular quail because they are button quail, but my little female keeps laying clutches and going broody. And that's unheard of in quail. And so, I mean, she's got a clutch of eggs right now that she's on. So whenever she actually goes to her new home, I'm going to take the eggs from her and put it from the incubator. I actually have 8 of their eggs in the incubator now. 9 chicken eggs from my chickens. 3 that are in a separate batch from my chickens because he found one that was like a funky speckled color. So we're hoping to see what comes out of that. I'm pretty sure that it came from the blue copper Marin, but I'm not positive. And we have no idea. She could have either bred with the Australorp rooster or we have the crested leg bar rooster. So either one. Better to be ready than have to. That's true. I'm going to prep the barn. I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen when we did the tour of the barn or I've showed videos of what's inside. But I actually have 2 stalls. One was originally for Rosie. One was for
Hey, I got
goats.
it working.
You got it working?
Yeah.
Yay.
I think. I don't know.
But one was for goats. That was the original plan. Goats, pony. And then, of course, the chickens. Obviously, if you've been watching for a while, you know that we can't have the chickens anymore. And so, yes, Freaky, you're at the right place. So we instead have opted for quiet animals to go in the barn. So we're getting the Coturnix quail, and then we're also going to be doing meat rabbits. Even though I do not have any issues with butchering my own animals, my dog's getting on the coffee table. I'm about to have to kill her. Even though I don't have an issue with butchering my own animals because I'm going to butcher my own quail, the rabbits, I don't have experience. That's part of what my channel is about, is because I'm learning. So probably for the first little while, I will not be butchering my rabbits. My cousin Jason, who has my chickens, will. In exchange, me and him are going to split the meat because he's going to have to teach me how to do it. I'm sure it's simple. I've seen several videos on different techniques and stuff, but when it comes to taking the life of something, I want to do it as humanely and as quickly as possible. So I don't want to take the chance that I would injure and not kill it instantly and painlessly as you can kill something. So I'm going to have him teach me instead. Let's see. You love your quail. Jason, I was on the fence because if I hadn't have had to get rid of the chickens, I would have never even dreamed of quail. But when we got the buttons by accident, I traded a lady one little Baney chicken for two button quail. And the stupid part about it is when we got the button quail, I started researching because I had the male and female, and I thought, okay, so let's breed these because I can eat their eggs. And I've tried their eggs, and I'm going to be honest with you. Pass some wrenches out to the big dogs. So what I had planned to do was just eat their eggs, but it takes like 1 million of them. They're the size of a penny. So I was like, all right, let's get another female. We'll get to breeding them. Coturnix quail in our area for an adult sells for $5. And then a dozen eggs is like $3, $2.50 to $3. Button quail eggs is $28 for a dozen. And they lay every day. They do the same thing that the Coturnix quail do. You know, they're mature by 6 weeks old. They lay an egg every day. They only live 2 to 3 years. They literally take less. Why no chickens? This is my first time here. Why no chickens? When we bought our property back last April in 2015, me and him both were working. Homesteading was not even close to on our radar. And so we bought this property. We knew that it was out in the country. We actually have a farm beside us that has cows, farm behind us that has cows. There's people across from us that have a winery. And so we knew we were moving out in the country, out in the middle of farms, which was what we both wanted. So we bought this, and even though it was on an acre, plenty of people do things. And I had done it because I wanted to get our kids a pony. So I knew that's what we had intended to do. So that January or that August, I ended up having to quit my job because we lost our babysitter. And so we went from 2 incomes down to 1 with a brand new house. So we ended up, I started looking for ways to help save money. So I started looking for like couponing and cooking from scratch. And I came across a homesteading video, and that's all it took. And so the funny thing is he could not understand for the life of him why I suddenly took this bug that I had to homestead, because I'm terrified of chickens. Up until I got them, I was petrified of chickens. And I worked in a vet office, but when they would bring roosters or a chicken in with a hurt leg, I was like, I ain't touching it.
Especially turkey.
Yeah, turkey. I'm still afraid of turkeys. Turkeys are a big no-no. I do not go near turkeys.
The man-eaters.
And I feel like it's always the same story that, you know, if you have somebody who's like, I'm afraid of chickens or turkeys or something, they're just like, well, Mamaw had this one rooster that just flogged me every time it always seems like that's the story, but it really was. My granny had a rooster that was meaner than the booger man. So I was always afraid of them. But I was scared of chickens, and I was like, I think I'm going to get chickens. And he's like, from the moment I've known you, you've been afraid. What are you thinking? But I don't know, just this sense of urgency came over me that this is what I wanted to do. This is how I wanted for us to live our life. And the more I got into it, the more I realized that I loved it. And so that January came around, right around time to start buying chicks. And I actually called our county and called around, making sure that we had permission. And the guy's exact words were, you can have a bull elephant where you live, and that's fine. So we proceeded, spent a lot of money building fence.
Turkeys can't be a man-eater when they're on your plate. That's true. That's true.
That's the only way I like turkeys, if I'm eating it. I ain't touching a turkey. I don't like live turkeys. They freak me out. Nothing with a head that's red like that and the weird, no. Just no. Just no. But they gave us the permission. He was like, yeah, you're completely unzoned. She's over there stealing some food that I had set down over there.
Stuff over.
I left some of my food over there on the counter or on the end table, and our dog, because she knows we can't see her, is over there on my end table. She's 90 pounds and she's on my end table eating food. She's gonna get her butt busted when I get done. But no. So we got permission from the county. They were like, no, you're fine, not zoned for anything. You can do whatever you want. So we spent all this money, got everything prepped. The plan was to have some laying hens. I got some different breeds. Spent a lot of time researching, drove him insane.
A lot of trial and error.
I am going to get her in a minute and knock her in her head. Winter, get your big body over here.
You ain't
She's
got a body
silent.
shamer.
I'm not body shaming. She is fat though. So anyway, the original thing, I had been researching all these breeds, and I had planned to breed chickens for olive eggers and specific colored eggs and all these things. Like I had all these ambitions, and I was going, because we had a small space, I was going to do Nigerian dwarf dairy goats. Even found somebody that was selling them, bought them. Like I'd done the whole thing. I was ready to go. And we had the chickens, I had bought the goats, we had the pony, and we got a letter from one of our neighbors. Now, we live on a dead-end road. It's a county road.
Or are you going to get more land?
We are going to try to get more land, actually. It will not be this year. We are going to try to aim for sometime next fall to be looking for more property. So, anyway, the couple houses down from us, he has 50 chickens.
Rich.
Oh, hi, Rich. So there are a couple houses down from us. This guy has 50 chickens, and he had actually asked the neighbor that we're having issues with. He had asked her, was it okay if he got chickens? Did she mind? Because the back of his property butts to the side of her fence. She said no problem. She had been getting eggs from him. He'd had them for over a year. Then he had like 20, I think, and then she ended up asking, he ended up getting like 30 more, and then had 36 in an incubator, and she found out about it, and she asked him, will you reduce your numbers? And he told her absolutely not. And so she went to a lawyer to try to make him reduce his numbers. Well, when she did, the lawyer said, we absolutely can, because researching it, we found that 20 years ago, this old farm was split into properties, and the guy that split it put some restrictions on the deeds that say no animals are to be kept on the property other than house pets.
But it's not zoned whatsoever.
But yeah, we're not zoned. There's no zoning. So when he told her, he was like, yeah, absolutely, I can make him get rid of them because there is restrictions on the deed. So he said, but in order to do this, is there anybody else that has farm animals?
And Jason said he'll soon have 20.
Yeah, Jason's gonna have a whole bunch because of the grand chickens.
Have a whole herd of them.
And come next spring, I'm really gonna have some fun hatching him out some babies. But so I told him, she told him, yeah, she has chickens too, and he said, well, in order for you to make him, she's gotta go potty. In order to make her get rid of him get rid of his chickens, she has to get rid of hers too. So she sent me this letter, and at first I was just like, whatever, I will not do that. Who's my favorite? Hey, Mr. Hope, who's your favorite team?
In college or pro? College or pro?
So anyway, I'll wait for that to pop up. So so she sends me the letter. I totally ignore it. And then I got a letter from a lawyer. And the letter from the lawyer says that I had 30 days from the moment of the letter to remove the chickens from my property, or they will take me to court. And not only will I lose the chickens, that I would have to pay for any property devaluing that came to her.
You said yes.
UT all the way, Jason. Let's see. College would absolutely be UT.
Absolutely.
We're not far from UT College, so there is, I don't think, unless they're just foreigners, there's nobody here that don't bleed orange.
I don't know. There's a few people like Florida. But
That's what I said, foreigners.
We try to
or
not
ignorant
talk to
people.
them. We try to keep away from them people.
So the quail are small enough to hide.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
The chickens, when I asked her, did she have a problem? Because
about
I actually asked her, I said, you know, if you have a problem with the root, like when I got the letter from the lawyer, I called her and me and her had a long conversation, and I told her, I was like, if you have a problem with the rooster, I'll get rid of the roosters. If you have a problem with me getting the goats, I won't get goats. I won't. Just please. Like, I cried on the phone. I said, please let me keep these chickens. Do not take me to court over chickens. I've hung out with Peyton, cool guy.
You just went up 20 points in my book.
20 points in coolness for Brad.
That's it.
Judy Ball, that's my aunt. So anyway, you know, I said, I cried and I told her, I was like, please don't make me get rid of these chickens. You don't understand. So yeah, they're chickens, and yeah, I would have eventually butchered them, but they were still my chickens, and it wasn't even as much about, and I would say it wasn't as much about the animal, but it kind of was, because I'm an animal lover, but it was because somebody came in without me knowing it and told me, you can't live like this, you don't get to choose your lifestyle, I get to say what happens. Paying plus 50. And so that for me was a hard pill to swallow, because one of the things we'd even said was we didn't want to live in the city, because I told him, I was like, there is nobody going to tell me what I'm going to do on my property. And then lo and behold, here we are with somebody telling us you can't do this. So in order to shut her up, basically, I sent my chickens to Jason, and Jason has a gorgeous coop like I would move in. They live in a lifestyle of luxury right now. So Jason took the chickens, and I will not be getting chickens on the property because, and she even told me, she was like, I don't have a problem with your chickens, honey. She said, I didn't even mind the pony. She was like, I loved all of it. She said, it's just, he won't reduce his numbers. And if I make him, I have to make you. Like, she was just dead set. Was not going to budge, was not going to change. How or can you get around that?
We could possibly, but that'd be a big risk. I mean, if it come down to it and we was in court, it could go our way or it could go her way. And her way, it would be quite expensive on us.
Literally, we could lose our home in order to fight for keeping chickens.
So, you know, it's one of those things.
So instead...
Pick your battle.
Yeah, it was one of those, you know what? We weren't planning to homestead when we bought... Good Lord. We were...
You all right?
She drunk a bunch of
Golly.
coffee. You all right?
Who put a bone in the water?
She's an old lady. So we weren't planning to homestead when we bought this. This is not set up for a homestead. It's really not. So I was just going to kind of make do with what we had, and that was okay. She needs to move by, Felicia. Yeah, I've said that several times. I actually have one subscriber. He cracks me up. His name is Art Chicken Boyd, I think is how you say it. And he always...
Snot. I don't know what that was.
She's over here hacking up a lung. Anyway, she's just... And the thing about it is like, even when I ask her... you know, if it's the roosters, like if it's something, can I change it? She was just determined not to. But the thing about it is she's actually, by Suburban Hillbilly, She actually is almost 2 football fields away from us. She can't smell it. She even told me, I can't hear your chickens. I don't hear them.
Now, the other guys?
She could. But it ended up backfiring on her. She ended up telling me I had to get rid of mine, so mine went to Jason. He moved. Now, the people that are right beside him, behind her, they are a farm. They're completely unrestricted. And he went to them and said, hey, look, you've got pigs, you've got chickens.
On the first one we tried. All this.
Oh, you were still sitting on I'm sorry, Gopher Green.
You need to check on her.
I'm sorry. It's because she's over here licking the floor.
Well, she needs to quit smoking.
So smoking. So basically it was over him, not you. So many do not care anyone other. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Bottle rock. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you.
I already told somebody, I had found a scripture. I don't even remember what it was. I had posted it, and I think it was like in Isaiah. And I told everybody, I was like, I'm going to get a big privacy fence. Just stick it in the ground where it faces her and paint it white. And literally put the Bible scripture on there about your enemies. That way when she looks out her window, that's all she sees. Because I even told the lawyer, I said, there's worse things that I could do to this property that ain't in the restrictions that has nothing to do with the chicken. And he was like, well, I mean, if that's what you want to do.
You mentioned in the video.
The survey, she did.
Oh yeah, it's her.
She paid for all of it. She's willing.
I don't even think she paid for the survey. I think it was just the
lawyer
old papers. It was the old papers from like 15, 20 years ago.
And we looked into possibly our property because it originally was a farm. The neighbor that has the beef cattle, he has 25 acres of the original farm. And then I think there's another 60 that they split up into different homes and different properties, and one half of it, in the back of us, they're a dairy. And so...
I mean, I could literally walk out this door, walk about 10 feet and feed a cow.
Yeah, no joke. I work out in the mornings. I do a 2-mile run. And I come from my house and I go to the end of our road.
Finish the story. The neighbor went to the farmer and you keep on getting lost.
I know, everybody's distracting me. So anyway, the neighbor went to the guy next door.
In the corner of a roof than to share a palace with a cruel swan. Ain't that the truth? Golly,
that's why he lets me do whatever I want, because he don't want to hear it.
That's preaching right there.
So he went to the neighbor and he said, hey, look, you've got pigs. You've got a pony, you've got a couple cows, you don't have any chickens. I have these 50 chickens. Would you be willing to let me move my chickens 10 feet over onto your property line?
And I'll give
you eggs in exchange. The guy said, absolutely. So it ended up biting her because now, instead of the chickens being on his property, kind of close to where her fence is, it's actually, he moved it over and up. So it is directly up against the back of her fence. There's nothing she can do about it because the land is unrestricted. It does not belong to anybody but the farmer. So there's nothing she can do about it. So now she has, and I think now he's got 70-something chickens. He has 70 chickens up against her fence.
Restrictions be to close when purchased property. That's just the thing. We were never told.
We were not told. We were not given anything like that. As a matter of fact, when we were buying from the seller, hey, Rain. So we were not told. We even had mentioned to the seller, I was like, yay, we can get a pony. And he was like, yeah, you're out in the country. You can do anything you want. The previous owner did not even know anything about it. He had, one of the restrictions say you can't have broke down cars. He had a broken down car beside what is now the barn for 8 years, and she never said a word.
It makes me want to go get about 6 broke down cars, just park them on the corner, and just let them sit, just for a little.
Yeah, he got much. And I love his name. He's got a truck, and he's got the words over the top. His name is Mountain Man. Mountain Man got better revenge than I could have ever gotten. And since all that stuff happened, and
he's beating Beagles now.
He's breeding beagles.
Beagles. That's what I'm trying to say.
He breeds beagles, and he's got them up against her fence line because they're household pets. There ain't a thing she can do about it. So you have to understand this lady. She lives out here in the country. We all live out here.
And them things are loud.
Yeah,
you can hear them going on all the time.
But we live out here in the country, everybody around us has farms. She has a manicured yard. She lives alone. One of the neighbors, when we were discussing it, you know, she said, "Oh yeah, I've been in her house."
Fresh meat to boil. About right.
She literally has all white furniture, all white carpet. Like she has a little
7 cars, one for each day of the week. Hey, yeah, you pick them up for $100 down here at Junkyard.
Because I forgot to check these. Oh yeah. So if you know anything about breeds of dogs, I don't know if you do. She's got a long-haired weenie dog, a little dachshund, and then she has a Bichon Frise. If you know what that is, it's a little white poofy French dog. Kind of looks like a poodle almost. She's got these little poofy dogs and she's all alone. I think it's one of those things that he didn't fit into the way she thought that her neighborhood should look. And so she decided that nobody should do this.
And can you have your deed transferred over for a title for your property?
I can't. Actually, when we talked to a lawyer, he told me that the restrictions that the guy put on the deeds are so binding, it follows it forever, eternally. Doesn't matter who has it, doesn't matter what they're doing with it. It will always and forever be on there. Like, it's ironclad. So
it sounds like we need to sell, just to sum it all up. We need
basically, we're basically going to sell it at the beginning of next year because we will be completely debt-free. So we're going to sell the house and we're going to look for, and this is where it's going to be real fun. Right now, we live in the typical, we thought we were getting the American dream. The little backyard, the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house out in the country. Nice. Didn't know we were going to have neighbors from the bigger man's house. So
with toy dogs.
And what's funny is one day I was outside and I was sitting out in the sun and I had Winter with me. Now, if you've never seen Winter's 90 pounds and she's a pit bull. She has cropped ears. We got her from a rescue.
Looks fearsome. If looks could kill, she'd kill you.
And I'm telling you now, this is the biggest dodo that I've ever met in my life. She would not strike a lick at a snake. She thought she was a chicken. She's useless, honestly. She is useless. She's at this moment licking the floor. So we're outside and Winter's outside with me. She minds so well. And the lady was walking up and down with her little frou-frou dogs and they started barking. Well, Winter stood up and she was like, "Don't let her come over here." And I was like, "Oh, she won't do anything." And she was like, "No, my dog will attack her. Her froofy dog is going to attack my giant dog." And I was like, "Lady, just know. Like, you need a hobby. Just know."
When dogs are under 50 pounds.
Fence wasn't around the yard, just the truck in the front. Ruined her view totally. I really had thought about putting up a fence, but I think it would be a little obvious what I was doing, so I just decided not to.
I'll get your chickens, my pretty, and your little dogs.
Dogs too. That's exactly what she's like. So,
hey, she mops floors. Yeah, I'm telling you, any food, you ain't got to pick up food. Nothing.
Laws are made to be broken. That's exactly right. So what she don't know won't get me in trouble. So this is what I'm doing. We removed the chickens. I took down part of the fence. I have been leaving the barn doors open all the time. So she doesn't know. And the thing is like when I thought we were going to have to go to court, at first I was like, I'm fighting it. There's no way, until we talked to a lawyer and I found out, she has a leg to stand on.
If we lose, it could be bad.
Yeah, it could actually cost us our house and everything. So we decided that, we'll just let it go. Not a big deal. We'll let it go. And so we sent the chickens to Jason. I took down part of the fencing. I leave the barn doors open. And the reason I'm leaving the barn doors open, and I still go back and forth in there, is so that she doesn't...
That scared me.
He dropped the phone. So that she doesn't notice any change or anything different. I still go in and out like there's something in there.
You're broadcasting it now, just saying.
Broadcasting it now? Broadcasting what?
Are we just now doing this? I don't know. So maybe it's your decision to homestead this software. Just keep me from doing any advice.
There is absolutely, I have tons of student loans, debt, which keeping me from doing any advice.
Software engineer in Seattle.
Honestly, I don't think there's anything that should keep you from doing it, because you don't have to. And that's part of the reason why I even started the channel that I did, is because when I started, I found a lot of channels. And now now that I'm doing it, I'm finding more people who are just starting out. But when I first started, I watched people like Becky's Homestead. Becky's Homestead, I think she has like 5 acres. She's in Florida. She's been doing it for a long time, built her cabin from scratch. Every person that I had seen was already there. They were showing me what was already there. And so I couldn't find anybody that was showing me like options or just from the beginning when they don't, number one, you don't have anything, and number 2, you don't have a clue, because I don't have a clue still. I'm learning. It's a very long learning process. So I would say if you could do anything, you can even grow plants inside. There's people that grow plants inside. Can you be self-sustained?
That's what they're talking about. Like, you're openly talking about your plans.
Oh, about my barn door? That lady don't watch nothing, because if she did, she'd have done seen me talking trash about her a long time ago. She'd have done seen this a long time ago.
Probably had a lawsuit for slander or something.
She probably would. She's crazy. My earrings are driving me crazy. So, but I would say start small. If you can plant food, if you just start with planting herbs inside, go to local farmers markets. If you can't grow it yourself, support the local farmers that do grow it. Find somebody who can give you farm fresh eggs or sell you farm fresh eggs. If you can grow things in your house, or even like...
That's exactly
with me,
why I subscribe to your channel.
Because I was new. And because I'm clueless. Hopefully the neighbors don't do YouTube. She doesn't. I ask her. Just in case.
Do you do YouTube? Because I'm talking mad stuff about you.
I'm talking mad smack about you, lady.
So I need to know, do you know how to work the technology?
I asked her, I was like, well, I'm doing some of this for my YouTube channel. She said, well, honey, I don't watch. She's like in her 70s. She's like, honey, I don't watch YouTube. I wouldn't know how to work it. And I was like, good. Because I'm about to talk some crap about you on YouTube. No, but if you can find people that will give you farm fresh stuff, that is going to be great.
The chickens' pets. We were told if they could stay indoors that she could do nothing. They were household pets. So we almost...
and somebody, please help me. Help me out here. I'm trying to convince him that I need a pig just to chafe her. I want a pig. I'll keep it inside. I want a little potbelly pig because I work out and I walk 2 miles, walk to run 2 miles a day.
Rich said, girl, careful, she about to follow your channel.
She don't know.
If she does, she knows everything by now.
If she does, she's in for a rude awakening.
I'm sure we'll get some looks as she drives by once in a while.
No, she's not watching, Roxanne. She doesn't watch YouTube. She doesn't even know how to work it. She told me she don't even have the internet.
She took her earrings off.
Yeah, I took my earrings off. I'm about to get ugly.
Have we got a garage? We have a carport.
We have a carport, yeah.
Not a garage.
So the barn.
I wish we had a garage.
Yeah.
I'd be all about that.
The barn shed type thing.
No pig inside. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Brad, you're not helping. I want a pig. I'm trying to talk him into a spider pig. Oh no, don't bring it in the house.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you.
I even considered going ahead and taking the Nigerian goat that I had bought. Quit whining. The Nigerian goat that I had bought and bringing it in the house.
Yeah. Could you imagine that?
But, back to the... Yeah, it's a potbelly pig. It's just a little one. It's just to make her mad because I've got a pig.
Frame the carport in.
That's not a bad idea. We could frame the carport in.
Yeah, I mean...
Go for it.
I
want to help. See, the barn, the way I have it, and this is the thing that...
If we find out that we're not moving, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we find out that there might be something fall through, then yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. And because that would deem it a part of the house.
Yeah.
And we'll just turn that into the biggest coop she's ever seen. We'll have signs of chickens outside.
I actually...
Farm fresh eggs, pointing right to the carport. Come get them now.
She tried to tell the lawyer when she talked to him
that
I was commercial. I was commercial with 12 chickens. I was like, I don't know what commercial farm you've ever been to, but I don't think 12 chickens is going to do it.
We got the hardest working 12 chickens you've ever met.
Them girls earn their feed.
And 2 of them are roosters.
No, the barn is actually like, I don't know if you guys ever seen like a big storage shed. It's a big storage shed. And me and my brother back in February gutted the thing and rebuilt it into a barn. It's actually got like, I got a coop in, like almost like a little under coop that I had built to put baby chicks in to keep them separate. And it actually has 2 stalls.
Potbellies are good for inside as long as you don't feed them because they can get as big. You get 400 pounds.
Yeah, they get monstrous if you feed them.
door.
You've got to be careful what you feed the pigs, or otherwise. How much land am I looking for? I want to go 10.
Listen to her. She's like, anywhere between 10 and 1,000 acres.
Not 1,000.
Half of Tennessee,
No,
if it's okay.
no. I would say probably somewhere between 5-10.
No pig inside.
No
I'm
pig
telling
inside.
you.
You guys are no help. I want a baby potbelly pig. I used to have a potbelly pig. Of course, I named it Wilbur. Of course, I did.
Anything
and I bottle
between
fed
7
him.
to 15
And I
acres.
put clothes on him.
That's what I'm wanting.
7 to 15.
So that she can have all her farm stuff over there. And so...
He's actually, believe it or not, at first, when I first started doing this, he was like, what? And the more I've gotten into it, so far, I would say farm-wise, he's helped me a lot in the garden. Animal-wise...
I don't trust him. That's my problem.
He's afraid of horses. He led Rosie for me once. And then he has pretty much looked at everything and been like, that's cool, babe. That's cool. That's it. But to his defense, when I started... 9 acres.
Roxanne got 9 acres off a golf course.
But on farmland, I'm going to make me a homestead.
I bet that'd be pretty too.
That'd be beautiful, yeah. When I first started, I told him, I was like, oh, I'm just going to get like 6 chickens and do a garden. Well, now I'm going to get 6 chickens.
5, 10, that'd be 50 in my book. Hey.
All the same. So I was going to do 5, 10 chickens and a goat. Well, now I'm going to do some chickens. And then I just started saying some chickens. I started using chicken math. Some chickens and a few goats. And then I'm going to get the pony. The pony, if you go back and watch the video, and I know Brad and Krista talked about that, I told them the story. We found her on Facebook, but I found her because this lady had literally said, I've tied this pony to a tree. She has been for a year.
Ain't your animal makes it a pet. Oh, she had every chicken, had its name, had its heritage. It knew exactly where it came from.
I don't mean I wouldn't have killed it.
Yeah.
But I still named it. I'd probably labeled its frozen food bag. This
probably
is so
cried
and so.
the entire time. I'm telling you.
So so to his defense, the pony thing, he works thirds, so he sleeps in the daytime.
Oh.
So he goes to sleep. My mom finds this pony. We find out that it's been tied to a tree for over a year. We offer her $100. She says, sure, if you can come get it in an hour. So we took my mom's minivan and we drove 2 cities over, loaded this pony in a minivan. It was a 10-hand pony. If you know anything about measurements on a horse, she was 10 hands. Loaded her up.
I have no idea.
Drove her home. I said, Mom, should we put a tarp in the back of this van? And she was like, nah. I got an old quilt or an old blanket. We'll just throw it in the back. She won't poop. The second she got in it, she kicked the blanket out of the way, was crapping all over my mom's van, smeared it in the carpet. She turned her butt toward my mom's head, was passing gas beside her face, stuck her nose, like I had the back little windows open a little bit to give her a little air. She had her nose.
Easy. A chicken and pigs are next.
Yeah. She was neighing as loud as she could on the interstate.
Were you guys raised on a farm?
Were we raised on a farm? He was not. I was not. Some of my family members have had farms.
I was raised on a garden. Well, on
a garden.
Yeah,
with a garden.
If that's even a thing, like, yeah.
I was not raised on a farm, but my mother is an animal lover.
Unleash the beast.
And I'm an animal
I'm sure
lover.
that's how it looked to everybody passing them on all the way up and down that road. They probably thought,
we
what
were
is
on
in
the
the back of
interstate,
that thing?
and this guy nearly wrecked because he looked and there's a pony peeking out up the window. It was terrible. She freaked out. She was panicking. So we the question about where we raised on a farm. My mom is a big animal lover. I'm a big animal lover. So I was not raised on a farm. I've had rabbits. I've had an Australian bearded dragon. We've had goats. I've had a baby pig. This is why I was tied
to a tree for a year. Probably. I don't know what that poor pony thought. Tied to a tree for a year, then jumps in the back of a minivan.
I loved her. I loved Rosie. But I've had horses before. Like I said, I've had a pig. I've had goats. I've had dogs out the rear. Cats. We've had all kinds of stuff. I've had a chinchilla once. I had a ferret. So I've had ponies.
I've had 2 dogs.
Yeah, ever. He's not an animal person.
A lot of fish. I love fish.
So he goes to sleep. He wakes up. And I'm like, I wake him up and I'm like, hey, it's time to get ready for work. And he's like, why are you smiling at me like that? And I'm like,
I could tell from the pitch in her voice that there's something to this. She's like, hi, babe. I was
like,
it's
hi,
way
babe.
too high.
And he goes,
something's going on.
He said, what'd you do? I was like, nothing. I was like,
love-hate relationship.
I was like, don't be mad, okay? And he was like, golly, boom, why do you do this? Because before that...
I did not believe her. She walked in and was like, I got a pony.
He didn't believe me until he walked outside.
You're lying.
Surprise!
Sure enough, there said all three of the kids just smiling. Look at the pony, which lets me know it's too late to back out
Right,
now.
exactly. I brought the kids
late.
outside, let the kids see the pony first, then told Daddy. That way Daddy can't be like, no, we're getting rid of the pony. Because how are you going to tell our little babies that are like, look, Daddy, get my pony?
Where's the pony now?
Where's the pony now? It is considered an animal. It's considered livestock. And I had sold Rosie before the issue happened with the neighbor for 2 reasons. Number one,
our yard's not set up for it.
Our yard is not set up. We were not intending to get the pony.
And I didn't just say it, just get rid of her. Like, I didn't do that just to get rid of her.
So we ended up selling her to this lady who has a big farm because we were not set up. She'd eaten down the grass, and I had already decided to sell her because she did not, as small as our homestead was, we had to focus on what can make us money, what can sustain us. And she was a recreational thing. So
using the old kid trick. Yeah. Ain't that
something?
something?
I'm evil. I'm
Ain't
evil.
That something? Look, Daddy, we got a pony. And I'm thinking, I can't break your heart. I could tell your mama no.
So I saw
the
kids had lost interest in her. They lost interest in her really quick because she was crazy.
Livestock, is that glue?
So
no. No. Oh, that pony's, that's Elmer right there. We're going to use him as glue. That's all our school.
So I had broke her to a cart. I had got her to where she was broke to cart. And so I paid $100 for her and I sold her for $4. So I ended up making money from her. I didn't lose anything off of her. I think we did the math between the food and the stuff that we had bought for her and all that. I think we ended up making $170 for having her for 2 months. So I mean, that was not bad.
$28 for a dozen quail eggs, sunbird puppy. Yeah.
And it's the button quail. See, the lady, I'm actually, because they're so much more expensive, I'm selling her or trading her, bartering with her 3 young quail and 2 adult breeding pair. And in exchange, she's giving me 4 grown Coturnix quail, 1 male, 3 females, and 36 hatching eggs. I mean, that's a steal. And what she doesn't know is I still have
run rabbit. It's
14. Wabbit, it's wabbit season. You know what's funny is we decided to do the rabbits and the quail because they're quiet and we can hide them out in the barn and she'll never know the difference. But I wanted neither one of those on the homestead at all when we first started. But the reason I ended up selling
until
Rosie,
she sees you carrying like 6 dead rabbits up to the door. She's going to be like, either they just went hunting.
Yeah.
They just went hunting and got a lot of rabbits.
Butchering rabbits outside. Oh, golly. But the quail, obviously, I'm going to do in the kitchen. But
wait, is that a rabbit? Did she catch that rabbit? Oh, she just killed it. Oh, my goodness. Where's my lawyer? We're going to write a paper about this.
Hey, it's home. It's my own animals and stuff. Let's see, that's a deal. So what I ended up doing is we had to totally start from scratch. Like when I was cleaning out the barn, I was so depressed and so upset because I was like, all this work. Because like I was telling you about the pony. When I first got chickens, I was like, oh, I'm only going to get 6 hens. Oh, I'm only going to get 10 hens.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to get a couple chickens. I'm just going to get a few. So I had this whole bunch of chicks, and then I was like, well, you know, Mara had wanted a Buff Orpington. That's all she wanted. I wanted Buff Orpington. And so her little Buff Orpington.
For her. Don't give her any ideas.
So the Buff Orpington, we got one and it died for no reason.
Rabbits are not considered agriculture, so there's nothing she can do about it.
Exactly. So I told him, I was like, her Buff Orpington chick has died for no reason, so I'm going to go to the store and get her one. He goes to sleep. While he's asleep, we go to, I think it was the tractor.
One multiplies to like 6.
We go to the Tractor Supply Company, and she was like.
In the space of me going to sleep from working and waking up.
I
There's
already
new
had.
animals just pop
I already
out of
had
nowhere.
what, 15 chicks?
Yeah.
I had 15 chicks already, and
Bunch
I'd
of
already
them.
told him I was going to do 10, and I had 15. And so Mars Buff Orpington died. So I told him, I was like, I'm going to go to the Tractor Supply. I'm going to get, let's see, I'm going to get 2 Buff Orpingtons, and that's all I'm going to get. Well, when I get there, the lady's like, you can't just buy 2, you have to buy 6. And I was like, and she was like, and we don't have Buff Orpingtons.
Maybe she's watching her live
So, maybe she's watching your live stream. No, she doesn't have internet.
Let's hope
she already
not.
told me.
Let's hope not.
What is she gonna do?
If she's got internet, I'd like to find out how.
What is she gonna do? My quail are in the house. The rabbits are not livestock, so I've got her either way. So I got the 6 chicks. So I ended up with 3 Rhode Island Reds and 3 Black Sex Links. And so then she was like, and I had the kids with me, and she was like, well, today we're running a special. When you get 6 chicks, you get ducks for free. And my kids are like,
lady hates you. I don't think she hates us. Well, that was her story. She didn't have anything against us, and she was very for a pony because she was raised on a farm. She was very for chicken. She was very for this kind of life. But the guy behind her was the one that she had a problem with.
So I just got caught in the crosshairs.
So it was one of those things, if she made him obey the law, then she had to go against us as well.
We live in a controlled state, sad. You are told everything about what you can and cannot do, and you pay for it. I hate it, but it is true. It's very true.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's truly sad. Because one of the things, and I know we've only got like 7 minutes left, and then everybody needs to go over to Go for Green Living because they're going to be live in 7 minutes. But when we do purchase property, we will have to sell this quickly. Yeah. And as soon as this is sold, we don't know where we're going to live. We don't know if the property will already have a house. We don't know if we're going to have to put a mobile home on it. We don't know if we're going to live in an RV. If we're going to do a tiny house. We're not really sure.
Or a hobbit hole. Yeah.
He's wanting a hobbit hole. We found a company in Mexico that will actually
Guys,
create.
I'm such a nerd. I'm telling you, I would.
We have a cat named
I would
Frodo
start
Baggins.
crying. You would see a grown man with a beard cry. There'd be tears going down this beard. If I walked out there and she's like, "I got you a surprise," and it's not a pony or nothing crazy. If it's a hobbit hole, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so we looked into it. We are discussing the hobbit hole, and the reason why is because it is more geared toward being off-grid. We will not be totally off-grid. We will not be totally off-grid. We will try to eliminate a lot of our footprint. But the best part about the hobbit hole homes, from what we've researched, is they actually compact them with land on top of it. So no matter what property I get, I actually can grow our garden on our house.
How cool was that?
So that's a really cool idea. So we may actually do. It's kind of expensive, but they're really. I'll bring the pony. Please do, Brad. I do want another. Next time I'm getting a horse so that I can ride it. And so I want a tiny house. Yeah, we've talked about the tiny house. It's a little bit iffy because we do have 3 kids.
She might dress up as a scary clown suit and come over. Well, I ain't gonna say it. That's me.
Don't do it.
I ain't about to go there.
Don't do it. So that's pretty much the long-term plan.
We've been here 48 minutes. Oh, that's because we messed around.
Okay. We cancel out at 9 o'clock. So
I can't call you Bilbo. How about Brodo? Love it.
Brodo.
Love it. It's one of my favorite books.
This crazy man is wanting me to agree to getting a Basset hound so he can name it Bilbo Bassett.
Ain't that the best name you've
No,
ever
it's
heard?
not. No, we're not getting a Basset hound. We're going to get a working dog. If we have a farm, we're doing working dogs.
A working dog.
So the ultimate goal, I'll leave you with this. The ultimate goal of what we're planning to do is sell this house. We don't know where. So if you all are subscribed, there's no telling what you're going to see. We do not know. We don't have a long-term plan as far as housing. We're guessing we're going to go for the hobbit hole.
Earth shit.
As crazy as that is. But we are going to try to be a little bit more off the grid. We won't be completely off grid, but we're going to try to raise registered dairy goats. I'm looking into different breeds. I'm probably either going to go with Toggenburg or Alpines. And we are also going to start breeding mini Jersey cows. The closest breeder we found.
Simply Circus, total nerd. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually
Not
watching
enough nerds in the world.
We were watching you Simply doing the video the accent tag this morning, and he was like, "This guy looks like a really cool guy."
Yeah.
He loved the tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about that, but I've got one named Elvis and Hound Dog.
Great.
So yeah, that's the ultimate goal, and we are gonna, because the closest breeder for mini Jersey cows.
Are they underground homes, the Hobbit holes?
They kind of are. They actually you build the home, and then you have to have
They
dirt
stick it
brought
like 4 feet in, and then they fill it over with dirt,
and then they
fertilizer
put
and everything,
sod and stuff, and then you are to make it either grow into grass, or you can do. I'm actually going to grow our vegetables and herbs on top of our house. So
imagine that. You just sit you're in there cooking, you open up the kitchen window and just reach out. There you go. There's
literally.
Pop out.
So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do the Hobbit hole. I'm pretty sure it's kind of expensive to get here, and it does not come finished, so we would have to have somebody come in and finish it.
Hope you both do more live streams. Loved it.
We are actually going to do more live streams. From now on, it will be Friday night, 8 to 9. Me and Brad and Chris are actually supposed to be doing an interview sometime this week. We tried it, but they had some technical issues. Leave it to me to break their stuff. So we'll be discussing that. But yeah, we're part of the Homestead Network now, so we will be on every Friday from 8 to 9. But so that's the ultimate goal. Jersey cows, we're going to raise some hogs for our own personal consumption. We are going to raise our own chickens for laying, and I'm also probably going to do meat birds. We are looking for 5 to 10 acres. We want to stay kind of close to his job because he will continue to work until we can either be sustainable enough to take care of ourselves mostly, and maybe he can find something that's not as many hours. Guys, you will not often see him. He works 6 days a week. He just happened to have tonight off. Otherwise,
it was a miracle.
Yeah, it was a miracle. They literally texted him.
Like that pass
today.
Up against Georgia.
Yeah.
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle. So you'll rarely see him. He will be on here sometimes with me. But he works all the time.
Nice to meet you too. And I mean, as much as we can with this technology stuff.
Yeah. I love you too, Jason. I'll see you later.
So is it a home or a farm for taxes?
So is it a home or a farm for taxes? It will be a farm. Here's the thing.
I wonder if we can put Hobbit Hole on the tax form.
we
got to
probably
name
will.
it Bag End. If we get our own road, we're naming it Bag End. Bag End Road.
So we probably will do. We probably will have it as a farm, but I don't. But I don't know if we're going to. I don't know. We're going to have to talk to a lawyer and kind of see tax-wise what would be cheapest.
I work 7 days a week, so I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he normally works 7. 99% of the time it's 6. Every now and then you get a rare time where it's 5, but he works all the time and he is on Thursday.
Those days when it's 5, you celebrate. You live him 2 days like it's your
And he's actually the one who named my homestead. My first name is not Hope. Hope is my middle name. My first name is actually Cherish. My mom liked Cool in the Gang. So that's how I got my name. But he named it Hope's Homestead because he said it just had a better ring to it. So that's what I go. And Hope still is my name, so that's what we go by. So, the Hobbitstead. Oh, dear Lord. Don't give him ideas. That's bad enough. He's bad enough.
There's a farm around me called My Shire.
Oh, my Lord. That's cool. All right, guys. So, our time is up. Make sure you go over to Go for Green Living because they're about to go live. We love you guys. We'll see you next Friday. If you want to, also on my channel, you'll actually have to follow Amy with Fuels Homestead. I also do a live chat every Thursday morning from 8:30 to 9. It's called the Southern Mama's Coffee Break, and we just kind of talk. It's more geared toward women, so if you're a guy, you probably are not going to be interested in this whatsoever. But see you next week. We love you guys, and go watch Go for Green. See ya.